Lassiter Factor.
What's up, all my movie-loving maniacs? This your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor, and today I'm going to talk about Jackass Best in Last, which was released in theaters over the weekend. I went to the theater to go see it, so let's review. So Jackass Best in Last is the fifth and supposedly last film within the Jackass franchise, and there's really no other way I can explain these movies. It's basically a bunch of dumbass, crazy-ass white boys getting together to do a bunch of dangerous, crazy, funny, and disgusting pranks and stunts that no one in their absolute right mind would ever do. Now, generally speaking, I am part of that generation that did watch Jackass on MTV back in the day, but more so the movies. That's where my knowledge begins and ends with the concept of this show is the movies, and I've seen all of them. In fact, I did marathon all of them to lead up to Jackass Forever, which came out 4 years ago. I like the first movie. The second movie is even better, and in my opinion, probably the most disgusting of all of them. But Jackass 3D is actually my favorite of the movies because I feel like there is more of a balance between the types of stunts and pranks that they did. In Jackass Forever, which came out 4 years ago, in which we see the cast of Jackass, they're much older and they're with a much younger cast now. Some of them, they embrace all the things they did. And so now here we are with Jackass Best in Last, which is basically their swan song. But it also serves as kind of like a best of special, if you would. And also they do a couple of more stunts, but let's be honest, these guys are getting too old to do a lot of these stunts, so it's probably a good thing that this is the last one. And how do I feel about this one and compared to the first four movies? I'd say it's probably the weakest, but that's by virtue because, like I said, these guys are much older now. They can't do a lot of the stunts that they used to do. So this movie, like I said, it serves as a best of special while also giving us a couple of new stunts that they did that, well, at least they're able to do. And it was just fun seeing these guys reminiscing on some of their best stunts and reminiscing on the movies and even reminiscing on members that used to be a part of this crew, whether they got fired or they're just not with us anymore. Such as Baron Margera, who was fired from the last movie, and they do show the stunt, well, at least the one stunt he did in that movie that didn't even air in the final cut of this movie, but we see him here and through archival footage. But I do remember there was a lot of finger pointing going on as to why he wasn't in that last movie, but it's more or less kind of his fault for personal reasons. But hey, I just hope he got the help that he did, and I am hearing that he's doing okay, and his parents even got invited to the premiere of this movie, so hopefully everybody's on good terms with Ben Margera. And then of course Ryan Dune, who passed away back in 2011. It was definitely bittersweet to see archival footage of him with all the stunts that he did for Jackass. I do think one of the cool things that we got to see in this movie is that we do get to see the very first stunt that Johnny Knoxville did that he used to pitch to MTV, but MTV, they never aired it, and I'm not going to spoil it here, but once you see it, you'll understand why MTV did not do it. But I'll just say, when you see that stunt in the movie, they have a little text at the bottom that says, "This is extremely stupid. Do not attempt to do this. It could kill you." A lot of the newer cast from the previous movie returned in this movie, though some of them did, some of them didn't do any stunts, particularly Rachel Wolfson, who, let's be honest, she was just a glorified assistant for all these stunts. And I know she did like two stunts in the last movie, and I don't know, it's like, I get why she's here. Like, maybe it's just one of those things, like, I don't want to say this, but maybe she was just a diversity hire. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna hire someone to do something like this, don't hold back. Like, and she was probably game, but I don't know. But that's just how I assess it. But that's all I really have to say about this movie, because even when I reviewed the previous four movies back in 2022, I just thought, like, how do I rank these movies? Because honestly, these movies are kind of critic proof. They are what they are, so how do you really criticize this movie? But despite that, I will say this is definitely the weakest of the movies, and it's probably a good thing that this is the last. But overall, it was just nice seeing them get together and reminisce on the franchise as a whole. And even Johnny Knoxville, when they asked him about it on the red carpet, you can see him get a little emotional and get a little teary-eyed. Pretty much, you can definitely feel the camaraderie he has with the guys and this family that he's built. And not just the family that he's built, but basically how he created this franchise from the ground up and that it has lasted this long. But at its heart, it's really just about a bunch of guys getting together, having a good time. Even if their idea of fun may occasionally end with a trip to the hospital. I'm going to give Jackass Best in Last the thumbs up emoji. That's it for today. Have you seen Jackass Best in Last? If so, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and let me know how does this movie rank with the other movies. This your boy Bangful B of the Lassiter Factor. Stay safe, wash your hands, peace.